Very good evening, all of you. Let's start with today's session. Today we'll just try to solve that yesterday's problem first, and then we will proceed with the next thing. Now, yesterday we saw that for that one Unicode, which Unicode? /U000A. It was creating a problem. Right now, guys? Otherwise, like any other Unicodes when I was writing, it was not creating problem. We will first discuss about that. I am now having a proper solution for it. Why it is happening? First, remember, in Java, in your program, if you have used any Unicodes, within the program, in the entire program, anywhere where you have used Unicodes, see here, I'll save this with some name in our folder. Suppose demo.java I'm giving name. I'm creating class demo, public static void main string args. Okay, like suppose you are creating a variable character ab equal to z you're storing, and now this a, if you are replacing it with Unicode like this /U0061, getting, or here I'm creating ABC variable, but this B I'm using a Unicode of it /U0042, getting, right? And same thing, you're displaying it like system.out.println, you're writing ABC. So when you're writing ABC, it's going to display Z only, because actually this is B only, na? It's a Unicode of B. Same thing when you do like this system.out.println and you write hello and world, and you want to display this on separate line, and instead of writing normal escape sequence, you're using here the Unicode of what? Unicode of enter, that is 000A. Getting? Instead of that, if there is something else, like suppose you are writing system.out.println, getting, and you are writing hello /U0009 and then world, getting, no problem. Now what the thing is, just remember, that is the rule of Java. I have gone through that. I explored yesterday why it was giving issue. When I searched on it, what Java does is, before compiling your whole code, in the whole code, wherever Unicodes come, getting, only for Unicodes this rule is followed. Getting? That is a rule, that when you write an entire Java code, wherever you have written Unicode, it is going to process that Unicode. Meaning, it will replace the Unicodes with their value. Getting, guys? What happens is, before the compilation start, means this code is not yet compiled also. Okay? Before that, what the compiler does is, in the entire code, wherever Unicodes come, it is going to process that Unicode. And process the Unicode means replace that Unicode with their values. And after replacing them with their value, then it is doing the compilation on it. You understanding what I'm saying? Clear? So what the Java compiler does is, and this is only the rule applicable for Unicodes. So in the entire program, okay, wherever Unicodes come, it is going to process that Unicode. Process the Unicode meaning replace the Unicode with their values. Getting? So now when this whole code is getting processed, when this whole code is processed for Unicodes, will this Unicode get replaced with A? Yes or no, guys? Just give me confirmation. This code will get replaced with B.
Yes, sir.
And here what happens is, you know already this is the Unicode of what? This is the Unicode of
/n.
/n. So when it processes this Unicode, but instead of Unicode, if I write /n, it is not going to process it. Compiler won't process. At the time of output, you'll see /n as a new line. But instead of that, if you use Unicode, so before the code is compiled, understand carefully, before the compilation start, what it does is the entire source code will be processed for Unicodes, and all Unicodes are replaced with its value. So what happens is, here there is a Unicode /u00a, and what will happen when it is processed? It is a Unicode of new line. So when it is processed, instead of that, a new line come and your code becomes like this. You understanding? And here when the processing does, as it is a tab, over there what will come? Tab will come. You understanding? Like here what came? Here I wrote /u0061. So it replaced it with small a. Here it was /u0042. It has replaced with b. Here it was /u00a. It has replaced with new line. And here it is /u009. It has replaced with tab. And after the processing of this Unicode, now the compilation start. Now these Unicodes are processed. Now this code will get compiled. And when it tries to compile this code, here it gives a syntax error. Why it gives a syntax error? Because this string is incomplete. Because you know, when I took string literal, on the slide also I have mentioned that strings cannot be extended to, that too I have shown, means whatever I do is right, remember. I don't tell you anything wrong information, and when I don't know, I try to find out. See here, any sequence of character enclosed in a pair of double quote which must occur on a single line. Meaning Java considers string literal only for one line. And do you remember yesterday I told, if you want to extend to more than one line, what we do? If I want to write multi-line strings, then what to do? Do you remember anyone? I told you. No? No one remembers?
Concatenate.
Yes, very good, very good. I'm really impressed. Huh? Clear? Concatenation. This way, plus. Because in Java, concatenation is done by plus sign. Okay, so this way. But can I write like this? Other languages have different ruler, don't worry. Okay, can I continue writing on the next line, next line, next line, and then complete it? Such strings does Java allow you?
No.
No. And that was the reason it was giving you error. Getting or no? And did you see the error that was related to that only? The string is not completed properly. See here, I'll show you that. See carefully. Our folder name was TY2021 javac demo.java. And can you see this? Getting or no? Okay, sorry, but I have replaced it. Sorry, very sorry. Very sorry. I was supposed to keep it as Unicode only. Then also you'll get the same error. /u00. I had written 61. Here I had written /u0042. Getting? Then here I wrote /u000a. And here I wrote /u009. Getting? Why for 009 was no issue? Because it's a tab. So when it puts a tab, it is on the same line. So your string is not becoming incomplete. Here it happens. Getting? So what you got to know from this is clear to you. First I'll show you the result. Getting? And can you see, understand the error, then you'll come to know. See here, is it telling unclosed string literal? Unclosed string literal, with this itself proves what? Can you tell me? is this slash U009 processed by the compiler first? Before the compilation start, does it process this whole code for Unicodes? This is the rule applicable. And is your code going to get converted like this? Tell me fast. A, here capital B, getting? Here enter, because it's a Unicode of a new line. So instead of that, direct enter is put, getting? And this is replaced with a tab, getting? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So is this the modified code after processing Unicodes? Tell me, guys.
No.
Yes, sir.
Why no and
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yes, clear? Yes. So after processing all the Unicodes by the compiler, this is the code. And then this code is what? Tell me. After the Unicodes are processed, this is the code. And now this code will start, tell me, compiling.
Compile.
Yes, and now the code when start compilation, is this the syntactic error? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, and that's the reason it
Yes,
was
sir.
giving you error. You got it? Why it was giving you the error is clear to you or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
But
sir.
instead of that, I use some other Unicodes. Why it was not creating problem? Because those Unicodes, when replaced with the value, it was not splitting the string into two lines. Was that code splitting the string into two lines? Instead of backslash u00, if I write backslash u00 b2, correct? So was it replacing that b2 with a superscript 2? Means some character. So was it replacing with a character? After replacing with the character, when the compiler compiles it, there was no complaint. Only for this there was a complaint. Why? Because after processing the Unicode, this string was getting splitted into two lines like this. And when it was getting splitted in two lines, the compiler is complaining that this string is not completed. Means it is not, it's an invalid termination. Got it or no? Clear? And that's the reason you check the output. Why the output is coming like this? Output means the error is coming like this. From this error, you should recognize, see, a unclosed string literal. Why it is unclosed? Because the Java compiler is replacing this Unicode with new line. Getting? So can anyone conclude from this? What does what does the Java compiler does? Very sorry for that. What does Java compiler do? In crux, can anyone tell me in two lines or in one line? In Java, what happens?
Unicode process before the compilation.
Yes, very good. Clear? Whenever you write a program in Java in which there are many Unicodes used, Java compiler will process those Unicodes. And after the Unicodes are processed, then it starts with the compilation. Getting? Okay? I hope it is clear. Now, while reading this, when I was searching why it gives the problem, I got to know one more code which was also very surprising why it happened like that. Okay, you people will tell me. Suppose I'm writing this code, / I'm writing. See guys, what I'm doing, / then something I'm writing like char ch equal to z. Okay, then I've not even put semicolon also, and then in between only I'm writing \u000a, and then after that I'm writing system.out.println and hello. Okay, what do you say? If I compile this code, will it give no output or
Hello
Yes,
will
yes,
No
it is
output.
no output.
No output. Why do you say
Yeah,
no output?
comment, you had
Comment.
to that line.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Someone is saying that this whole line is commented, and as it is commented, this whole line is comment, so it will not give any output when you will compile it. But someone told, I guess Shreya only, I guess. I don't know who has answered it, but someone has answered. Shreya only. I don't know who. Okay? But some girl has answered that it will display hello. Why do you think it will display hello?
Comment is
Unicode
not
will
complete,
process.
sir.
Comment is not complete. Why no? It is slash slash.
Sir, Unicode will process first and then
Yes, that is the reason. Getting? The reason is that because just now we discussed that only, na guys. Today we have discussed that only. Yes or no? What will happen is the Unicodes are all processed. Getting? And then the compilation will start. So is your compiler going to process all the Unicodes in your code? Getting? And when it will process all the Unicodes in the code, is your code going to become like this? Is this Unicode after processing, is it going to put enter over here and everything after that will come on the next line?
yes, sir.
Yes. When it will
Yes, sir.
process \u00a, it is a new line. So it will put actually new line over there. And when it puts new line, this line come on the next line. Getting? And now when you will compile, this is obviously a comment. Getting or no? Someone told the comment is not completed, but it is completed. It's a single line comment. Slash 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 slash. So till the end of the line, it's a comment. So though you have not put semicolon, doesn't matter. It's a comment. But that Unicode is processed now already before the compilation start. So this Unicode has put this line on the next line. And when this come on the next line, it is going to display hello. Getting? Just check this and you will come to know the output. Getting? It runs and now compiles and now you run. Does it display hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Getting? And many might be surprised. Na? I'm sure maximum people might be surprised. How come it is displaying output whereas the line is starting with? Tell me, the line is starting with what? Slash slash. So as the line is starting with slash slash, maximum people might have thought this is a comment line. Slash slash. Everything is a comment. And as everything is a comment, what will be the output of this program? No output. Yes or no? I'm sure maximum will give the answer as no output. But if you are aware of that thing which I told today in the beginning, what I told just now, she answered it. Clear? What? That the compiler, before actually starting with the compilation, it will process all the Unicodes. And when it processes this Unicode puts what? Can you tell me?
New line.
Slash
Line.
n.
And therefore this line comes on the next line. And now when this line comes on the next line, this doesn't become a comment. It is a normal output statement, that is hello, so it will display hello. Clear? Okay. I hope it is clear to you guys. Okay. So now let's move on to the next discussion. Many more things in Java we have to learn. Okay. So this I'll just skip. So I hope everyone is convinced why it was creating a problem yesterday. Sure or no? Just give me confirmation.
Yes, sir.
Good. Very good. Let's move on to the next thing. Now next is about white spaces we have to discuss. Now white space means what? Space characters. All the space characters in your program are called as white space. So they can be only spaces which you put it with a space bar. With a space bar what you put. Okay? This space bar, that is also a white space, or a tab, or a new line, or a carriage return. They all come under white space characters. Okay. So white space characters are any sequence of spaces, only space which you put by space bar, or it can be tabs, or it can be form feeds, clear, or it can be line terminators like /n and all. Form feeds, like, again, it's not for console. For console it doesn't have any effect, but that character comes under white space. This is just normally for the printer it affects. Then the line terminators like /n, /r, they all come under white space. Getting? Now, according to Java, white spaces are only playing the role of dividing the code into tokens. Means only for tokenization these white spaces are there. Otherwise, there is no other role of white space. Means if you are putting extra white space, they are actually going to get ignored. Getting? Like, I am writing the whole code, class, demo, open brace, there only on the same line I am writing public, static, void, main, everything on one line. You understanding? Okay? The whole code on the same line I have written. Or I am entering and splitting the code on the separate lines and putting tabs and all is also one and the same thing, like this. Okay, so in short, what I want to say is that Java is a free form language or free format language. It is not having any pre-decided structure and you have to follow that fixed structure. Getting? Like old languages like COBOL and all. So COBOL was having a fixed structure that it was having 80 characters coding sheet. Getting? Because COBOL is a language when keyboards were not invented. At that time, when there were card readers, the program was punched on the card and then that cards were given to the card reader. That time, the languages of that time, that era, the languages, around 1960s, that time. So, that time what was there? The coding sheet was fixed, 1 to 80. Okay. Then from 1 till 6, you have to write the line number. Then 7th column was for comment. Like in 7th column, if you put star, then it indicate that line is a comment. Then the line numbers were to be put from 1 to 6. Getting? Then your verbs will start from 8th column. Getting? The verbs of your program, like this, add, A, to, B, giving, C. That way the program of COBOL was written. Huh? Correct? So from 8th column onwards, the verbs will start. Till 72th only you can write the code. Because from 72 onwards till 80, it was a scratch pad. For rough work they had kept. Getting? So the format was fixed. And you were supposed to write your program in that pre-decided format only. Getting? If you don't follow that format, the compiler used to complain. That is nowhere the rule in Java. Getting? So Java is a free format language. Means you write the whole code on the same line. Example, I'll take this code. Getting? This whole program I've written on the same line. Now some may think like he's telling about white space. Why suddenly he started this thing? It is related with this topic. Java is a free format language or free form language. It is associated with that only, white spaces. See here, now this whole code I have written in one line. Okay guys, and if someone puts enter and splits the code on the separate line and puts appropriate white spaces, tabs and all, correct? And then proper making it readable by putting it tabs and an indenting and all, and then write the code. Are both code going to run? Is this code also going to run and that code also going to run where I wrote everything on one line? Yes, because it's not having what? Any pre-decided structure. It's not having any pre-decided format. It's a free form language. So then in this case, these tabs, that is, are these white spaces? Here I've put this extra white spaces. Getting? I've splitted it on the separate line. So again, some white spaces have come, no? When I put new line over here new line. Okay, so are these all white spaces just going to play the role of making your code look better, indentation, okay, and it is playing the role of only splitting the tokens, only for token splitting and making your code readable. Otherwise, are the extra white spaces ignored? Means tell me, if I write class and after lot time then I wrote the class name, because in between you were sleeping, and when you were sleeping you had kept your head down on that space bar. Getting? So when your head was down on that space bar, the space bar is going, and suddenly you wake up. Getting? So when you waked up, from there only you started typing. Yeah, I don't imagine that way. Huh? Don't start imagining that you have kept your head on that laptop and then the head is on that space bar and the space bar is just going ahead. Clear? And when you wake up, where the space bar was, from there you started typing. Tell me, still your code will compile? I'm writing public, static on the next line. Then after lot time I wrote void. Getting? Then after lot of lines I wrote main. Then open bracket also after some time. Then after lot of time I started writing string. ARGS somewhere here. What do you say? Will it still compile your code? Yes or no? Just quickly. Yes. Why it will compile? Because as I said, the language doesn't have free format. It's not having any pre-decided structure. Even Python and also is not free format. There also indentations are important. Like if you want to make a block, the column number you have to follow. If the column number little bit change, one column ahead, the statement is out of that block. So there also the indentations matter. Here nothing like that. Getting? So what was my concern to tell you that all these spaces which you put, okay, their whole sole role is just to separate the token, one token and another token. Public is one token, static is another. So they play the role of separation. If here I put extra white space, is that only one white space sufficient? Are other ignored? Are the extra white spaces ignored? Yes. Getting? But still, why do we write it? Just to make your code clean, elegant, readable, clear. It should look better, readable code. So for that reason, you put these new lines and tabs and all. Otherwise, is the compiler simply going to ignore it? Is it going to ignore it? Yes. Clear? Okay. So just about white spaces is clear. See, a Java program is a free format sequence of characters that is tokenized by the compiler. You write the code, whole code in one line. You split the code on separate lines by putting tabs and all and making proper indentation and look elegant code. So you can put tabs and spaces and all and make the code proper readable. But still, Java is a free format. Getting? Then what is the role of white spaces? So these white spaces just play the role of separating tokens. So white space help in separating token. Getting? And also making your code more readable. Okay? In formatting the program so that it is easy for humans to read. Because as I said, if I type the whole code in one line, still it's going to compile and give you the output. And if you split it on multiple lines and you put tabs and all, still it is going to compile. Okay? The compiler ignores extra white spaces. Whatever the extra white spaces are there, that it will ignore once the token is identified. Okay? But are only spaces for tokenization? No, there are other delimiters also for tokenization, like comma, semicolon. They are also used for, they are called as punctuation symbols. They are also playing the role of tokenizing. But space is also playing the role of creating tokens. Okay? So till here everything is fine? Yes guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let's write some program. Instead of moving to the data type, what we'll do is we'll write some program. first program what we'll do is, or first we'll see how to accept value from the user. Getting accepting values from the user, right? So to accept the value from user, there are many techniques. The first one we'll see, the easy way, that is, our topic is accepting, ways to accept value from user. Okay, the first way we are going to see is command line arguments. Okay, then the other ways also I'll tell you, so that then we can start writing some programs also, no? Because I'm telling you all these things, but sometime it becomes little bit tiring for you to only hear all these conceptual things. So in between, just to make it little bit interesting, the little bit programs also will keep writing. Okay, so the session will become interesting for you guys. So command line arguments is the first way of accepting data from the user. Okay, now what are command line arguments? Command line arguments means values passed to the main, values which are passed to the main from the shell prompt or command prompt. Getting that command prompt, is it the interface provided by your OS? Like in Linux, it is a terminal. You do na right click, open terminal, and then a window opens, and then that hash prompt come. If you are in a Unix based OS, any Unix based operating system, so that hash prompt come, and then the cursor is blinking. Sometimes dollar also come, and you type the command. So that is actually the interface provided by your OS. It is an interface given by the OS. It is saying, I am ready to accept the command from you. Please type the command. I'll process it. I'll give you the answer. Okay, that's the reason it's called command interpreter or command prompt, or it's called as a shell. Okay. So in Windows also we have a command prompt. So when we are giving some values to the main from the command prompt, they are called as command line arguments. Correct? Like suppose this program only, this demo, when I want to run this demo, okay, I'll just only tell you internally what happens, which in the first Java program also I've told you. I was expecting from you guys that you will show me the first Java program, the explanation of the first Java program. I had given you as a homework, but I don't know how many did it. Clear? I was expecting that you will put the snap of that first Java program in the group, and so that the others also will get little bit ashamed, and they will also start attending the session. So for that reason, I was expecting that at least some student will put it. So I'm expecting still Saturday, Sunday, there are you have some relaxed days to just try it. Okay? Find out some half an hour for it, recall what all things I told, and just try to produce it on a paper, and then put that snap. I'll be really happy for you. Okay. Now coming to the command line argument. So what are command line argument? I told you, arguments passed to the main from the command prompt. Correct? So now if this program is demo program, you have compiled it. Assume that the compilation is done. You will write Java demo, and then you are giving some arguments. Okay, so suppose here you are writing RAM, then 567, then 4.5, 100, then Sita, whatever. Right? Always remember the class name is never passed as the argument, whereas in C command line argument, Python command line argument, that program name is also passed as a first argument. Here never the class name is passed. Now all these values which I have written here, which I am going to give it from the command prompt, are these all values converted into string objects?
Yes.
This I have told you at the time of first Java program. You
Yes,
remember?
sir.
So what
Yes,
will
sir.
happen is that string means is that RAM converted into a string object. Getting? Then next is 567. Though it is a number for us, but for Java it is a string object. It's a string object. 4.5 is a string object. Getting? Then I've given 100. That 100 is a string object. All are converted into string objects. Same command line argument when you do it in C, C++. They are character pointers, remember. They are not converted into string object. They are character pointers. And then all that pointers are kept in one array of pointers. And that array of pointers base address come to your main. That is the reason there is double pointer. Clear? So here they are converted into objects. It's an object. And you know that in Java, every object is having a reference. Getting? Object all follow ref model. Okay. So are the references of all these objects, each one is converted into object. Are the references of all these objects kept into one array? And according to Java, array is also an object only. But when we'll come to topic array, that time more detail I'll tell you. Okay, so are they all converted into object? Their references are kept in one array. And the array will also have a reference. And that reference will come in args. Getting, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that will come in that args. And is args a parameter? Is it a dummy variable of your main? So name args is your choice. It is just a universally accepted name by the Java community. You can give any name. You can just give simple S also. Okay, because it's a parameter name. And names are given by we people. It's a variable. No? It's a variable in which what will come? The reference of this whole array. And in this array what will come? Reference of these values. Getting, guys? Okay. Now the question is, if I want to access all these values inside my program, I can very easily access by writing args square bracket, okay, and give the index. So if I give args square bracket 0, it will give you RAM. Args square bracket 1, it will give you 567. Okay? This much if it is clear, then we will write one program, proper program, to accept some input and process it and give you some output. Okay, so just give me confirmation like this part is clear to you, that whatever argument you pass from command line means passing values to your program's main, to your class main, you are passing some values but from the command prompt. Command prompt means you understanding, no? Clear? From your shell prompt. Okay, now using this concept, what you guys do is write one program which will return you the maximum of 3 numbers, which will give it from the command prompt. Okay, means I am telling you, write one program whose class name will be like this, like max3 or whatever name you want, max3. This is the name of the class in which main is present. Class name in which main is present, and here I'll pass some values 78, 45, 90, 3 values, and it should display the max of that 3. Okay, guys. Okay. So what I want is I'm going to write one command line argument program to which from the command prompt I'm going to give 3 numbers, and it should display the maximum of that 3 numbers. Getting? Now you know that this 78, is it going to get converted into string 78? Yes or no? This is string 45, this is string 90, you know it, and their references are kept in one array. Yes or no? Is it kept in one array? And that indexes are there, 0 index, 1th index, 2th index. There the references are there. Okay, and the reference of this array, is that array also going to have a reference? Yes, that will come in which variable? Args.
Args.
So args will contain the reference of this array, and this array will contain the reference of these values. Getting? Now how can I access this 78, 45, 90? Just now I told, can I write args of 0, args of 1? Getting? But only the problem is when you want to find out max of these three value, obviously you have to treat these values as number. Yes or no? You are giving these three values, but inside they are coming as string. Though you know you have entered it as an integer. You have entered 78, 45, 90. Getting? But inside in your Java program, it is going to come as a string, as a string, as a string. And it is illegal in Java to compare strings like this with a less than sign or a greater than sign, because Java says greater than, less than can be followed only for numerical values. You cannot use this less than and greater than on objects of string class. It's a string object. It's a string object. So Java says it is illegal to compare two strings like this. It's wrong. Getting? It is syntactically wrong. It is incompatible operation. Getting? So I hope you got it. What the problem is. We want to find out the max of these three values. But actually these three values have come in the program as a string object. And Java doesn't allow you to do comparison between two string objects. Getting? So now what we have to do? We have to first convert them into integers. Getting, guys? So unless and until you convert them into integer, double quote 78 into number 78, double quote 45 into number 45, you cannot do such comparisons. Yes or no? So how to do the conversion to integer? And as the language is object oriented language, remember everything will be in object oriented form only. Yeah? It is not like Python multi-paradigm language. Java is a object oriented language. Python is a multi-paradigm. Means it is a procedure oriented also and object oriented also. This is strictly object oriented. Getting? So there is one wrapper class called integer. Okay, integer is a class provided by Java in lang package. I hope you know lang package. So in that lang package, there is one class called integer. I is capital. I hope you know that I have already told you many times that Java provided classes. As many classes Java has provided, all the classes first letter is sure uppercase. By mistake also you should not type in lowercase. Getting? So here also you might have seen string. S is capital. System. S is capital. But for demo, if I would have given small, no problem, because it is your created class. But if you are following Java recommendation, then good practice is give uppercase. Okay? So there is one class called integer. It's called as a wrapper class because it is going to wrap your primitive into object. Means the primitive value, that is integer, is represented as an object. So we'll talk about wrapper more in the coming topic. Now just remember, integer is one class and there is one method called parse int. Actually in English, parsing means validating. So it will validate first, and after validating it will convert it into integer. And what is to be passed to it? A string. Getting? What will be passed to it? A string. But what should be there in that string? A numeric value. So parse int takes a string, but within the string what should be there? A number. If suppose within the string there is no number and you are trying to convert such string to integer, it will throw an exception. Means it will generate an error. The error is number format exception. It will say that this string is not a valid integer. Getting, guys? Clear? So in that string what has to be there? A number only. And what is this parseInt going to do? ParseInt will first check whether that string contains a valid number. Yes, then it will convert it into the appropriate integer data type. And then you can collect that value in an integer variable. Getting? Is it right or no? Okay. So now is this double quote 678 converted into integer 678? Yes. Now you are going to get it as 678 integer. And now once it comes as an integer, can we do comparison on it? Can we do some arithmetic divide, multiply, greater, lesser, everything valid? Same thing are we going to do in our program also? Are we going to do like this? Integer a, integer dot parseInt, argument of 0. Because the 0th argument is args of 0. Is it this 78 in string form? It can be anything what you pass from the command line. Example I am telling. Is it this double quote 78? Yes. And
Yes.
is that double quote 78 converted into actual 78, numeric 78?
Yes.
This way you will convert the second argument, the third argument, you will get 3 integers, and now find the maximum of it. Getting? Then you can find maximum of it. So finding maximum logic, you can use any C logic. If you have studied in C, use that C logic, C++, any other language logic you can use. Correct? But our main concern was, can we compare the strings directly? Can I compare string directly? Greater, lesser? First tell me, is it valid in Java?
No.
No. Means what Java says? Comparison between? According to Java rules.
Strings.
Compared to string.
Huh. Java says that you cannot perform relational operations on these relational operations. Greater, lesser, greater equal, less equal. Can I apply on strings?
No.
No. Clear? Then if you cannot apply on that, so obviously first you have to convert the string into actual integers, and then you can apply it. Okay? Then can you tell me, is this parseInt a instance method or a static method? In the
Instance.
think again and tell. Think and then
Static
tell.
na.
Why
It is
static?
object na. It is object of integer na.
Who is object of integer? Then when you are saying it is object of integer, then it has to be an instance. Yes guys, tell me. What I told, first tell me, is integer a class? Tell me guys, did I wrote like this? Tell,
Static.
first here, tell me, integer I equal to new integer, and then did I wrote I dot parse int? This way I did, or directly I wrote class name dot?
Directly parse integer apply केले म्हणून ती static आहे.
Getting? Means when you are invoking any method directly in the context of a class, it has to be which method?
Static.
And when you are invoking any method in the context of an object, it has to be which method?
Instance.
Then you should be very clear now. Till the end of the course, you should be very clear about that instance and static. What is the difference between instance and static? Getting or no? Clear? So this is instance because the method is invoked in the context of, it is invoked in the context of what? Class name. It is static. And if the method is invoked in the context of object, then it is instance, because object is an instance. No? Every object is a copy of a class. Copy of a class is called as a instance. And instance means only objects. Clear? I hope it is clear to you. So now can we write this program, complete program for finding max of 3 integers, which we are going to pass from command line? Get it?
Yes.
Okay. Then to do the comparison, you can use if else and all of C, or can we use one ternary operator? If you remember, there is one ternary operator in C. The same one in Java also is applicable. See here, condition, question mark, expression 1, colon, expression 2. Is there
Condition
such?
statement.
It's called as a conditional operator, ternary operator. It's a ternary operator. Getting? Will it evaluate this condition first? If the answer of that condition is true, it will give you the result of expression 1. And if the answer of this condition comes false, then it will give you result of expression 2. Getting? Like if I collect in X, so what will get saved in X? What will get saved in X? Expression 1 or expression 2 will get saved. Depends on what? Condition. So if the result of the condition is true, expression 1 is evaluated and that result is stored here. And if the answer comes false, expression 2 is evaluated and the answer is kept here. Getting, guys? Okay. So now all the prerequisites I have told you, what all things are needed, conversions, command line argument, then comparisons, how to do, all I have told you. So let's write one complete program for this, in which we will be accepting the data from user. So I'm giving name to the program as max3.java. Max3.java. Save it. Okay? Done? Okay. Now I'll write the code. Class max3. Okay, class max3. It is not at all compulsion, the name of the class and the file name same. I have been telling you so many times, but it's a good practice, because when you'll compile with the name, immediately you'll run also with the same name. So many times you keep the same name. Public static void main string args. Okay? And now what I'm doing is, I'm first converting that 3 command line arguments which I'm going to pass from the command prompt. Getting? I am going to pass 3 command line arguments. But are that 3 command line arguments strings? Though you are going to enter it as a number, but in Java program they are going to come as what? Which objects they'll come? String object, and therefore you have to convert the string object to
Integer object.
yes, and for that there is a class called integer. Integer is a class provided by Java. There is a static method in that class called parseInt, and to that I'll pass that first command line argument, args of 0. Is args of 0 one string? Args of 0, is it the first command line argument, which is a string? That string is converted to integer and you'll get it in A. I'll write B, integer.parseInt args of 1, and then integer C, integer.parseInt args of 2. So this way I have collected 3 command line arguments from the command prompt, which a string I have converted to integer. Now I want to find max of this. Getting? So can I use a ternary operation, integer max? See here, first I am checking whether A is greater than B. Okay, first I'll check whether A is greater than B. True. So I'll check what? One part will be there and other will be else part. Like this. If A is greater than B, one part, and if A is not greater than B, second part. You understanding, guys? The conditional operation. This is the condition. A greater than B. If it is true, this bracket, and if it is false, this bracket. Right, guys? Now in this bracket, again one ternary I am putting. As A is already greater than B, so I'll check whether A is greater than C. Yes, so A is max, otherwise C is max. Means, is it a ternary within a ternary? This is already condition 1. Yes or no? This is already condition 1, nahi? This is already condition. This is your expression 1 and this is your expression 2. Yes or no? But when the condition is true, it evaluates expression 1. But expression 1 is again itself a ternary. This is a expression, sorry, this is a condition. this is expression 1 and this is expression 2. Getting? So now if your A is greater than B, it will check whether A is greater than C. Yes, then A will get copied here. Otherwise C will get copied here. Done. But tell me if your A is not greater than B. If A is not greater than B, so will it come to this part, this bracket, where I'll check B greater than C. True, then B, otherwise C. Is the expression right? Just tell me. The values are given. Like you are checking 56, 34 and 12. So first you are checking A greater than B. Getting? This is A, this is B, this is C. A greater than B. Yes, so it will come inside and check whether A greater than C. Yes, so A comes. See here, A will come here. But suppose A is greater than B, but A is not greater than C. Tell me, A is greater than B, comes inside here. But A is not greater than C. Then who is maximum? C. That will come here in max. Getting? And suppose this part only has come false. Which part? A greater than B. Like suppose here instead of 56 here there is 23. Tell me, is 23 greater than 34? No. So will it come to this bracket directly? Yes. Where it is checking 34 greater than 72. If 34 greater than 72, 34 is maximum. Otherwise 72 is maximum. So in our case, C is maximum. Getting or no? Now whatever max has come, I want to display on the monitor. Okay, but I want to display it in well formatted way. See, like this I want. Max, bracket, then the value of A, whatever it is, comma, then the value of B, then the value of C, equal to, and whatever the max is. This way I want the output. Getting? This way I want the output. So what you can do is, the constant part which is there, that you can keep it in a string like this. Getting? This part you can keep in a string. This part you can keep in a string. This part in a string. Okay? Now these are the variables 34. Okay? 56, 23 and max. Right? But when you have splitted this much part in string, right, and this variable, you have to concatenate it by putting a plus sign. Getting? Like this. Okay? Now what Java will do is, it will convert all the other values also into string. It will convert A to string. Okay? It will convert B to string. It will convert C to string. It will convert max to string. And you know that in Java, when there is a plus between two string, what it does? Today only I told you. In Java, if you have hello, concatenation. Getting? If you have one string hello and another string world, can I just concatenate it with plus? Yes, that two strings will get concatenated. Same thing is happening here. Getting? But some may have doubt like, कि double quote max bracket is a string. Okay, but A is an integer. Double quote comma is a string, but B is an integer. But the speciality of Java is, the other values which are not string, they are converted implicitly into string. You understanding? So if your A is 56, it will get converted into double quote 56. You understanding, guys? If your B is 34, it will get converted into double quote 34. Okay, here it is 23 double quote and max is 56, so here also double quote. And now when all got converted into string, will it perform the concatenation? Because as I have put a plus between them while splitting. Okay, so will it concatenate them and build one single string? Will it bring one single string like this? Okay, and then that single string print will display on the monitor. Getting? See here, system.out.println I'm writing like this, max bracket plus a, then a comma plus a b. Why I'm splitting? Because a is a variable, no? So there the changing value is to be put, no? Whatever that variable is, its value should come there. Getting, guys? Okay, therefore I have split it, and this is the constant string. Okay, again a comma comes, again c will come, then a close bracket equal, and then max come. Complete. Okay. In Java also there is a printf, but that printf is also a method. Printf is a method. It's not like a library function of C. In C, printf is just a function. Directly you call it like this. Here that printf also you have to call via some object. System.out.printf. Getting? But that was introduced in the later versions of Java. I'll show you about that too. About printf also I'll show you. Okay, for time being now we'll use println and print. Okay, so all this will get joined into one string, and then that string will be displayed on the monitor. Okay, let's see. We'll compile this. No, not demo. I was supposed to compile max 3. Okay, and then we will pass 3 values, 67, 89, 23. Is it displaying it? Yes or no? With a joint from max of 67, 89, 23
Yes,
equal
sir.
to 89. Give some other input. Getting? 90, 56, same input, like here, 78, 90, 34. Is it giving 90? At different places you can keep max. Like A I am keeping as max. 10, 100, 50, 25. Okay. At last place I'll keep max. Like 25, 50, 100. Getting, no? Now some may have a doubt, if I give more values then what will happen? So obviously the fourth one will be ignored. Getting? But the problem is when you'll give less value, Java is a robust language. Remember, Java is a robust language. It will not take garbage and do the calculation. Getting? It will throw a runtime error. Okay, and that error is array index out of bounds exception. Getting? When we'll come to exception handling chapter, you'll come to know how to handle these exceptions. Okay, but Java will throw an exception. You can check, see. It tries to access the third value. No? 0th value is there, 1th value is there, but is there any 2th value? Args of 2 is there. Args of 0 is 25, args of 1 is 50, but is there args of 2? No. And you're trying to access second position value, which is not there. It will throw array index out of bound exception. Can you see? See, array index out of bounds exception, and that index number. Which index is wrong? Second index, because at second place there is no value only. Getting? I hope you got it. Right or no? Now you may say like, no, but I want to handle that errors. Like if there are exactly 3 values, then only this should happen. And if not, then it should generate an error. There are provisions, I'll tell you. Okay. Already I told you this args, which looks like a array, but according to Java, it is also what? I've been telling you that line many times. Is array also an object according to Java?
Yes, sir.
Yes, but when we'll come to array topic, it will be more clear to you people. But according to Java, array is also an object. And if it is an object, obviously it will have some properties. And it is having one property called length. See, args.length. Now, can you imagine, here you are calling it as an array. And now you are using dot. So when you are using dot means it is treated like, can you tell me? Anything when you access with a dot, so actually what is this supposed to be? Just now we did the discussion. when I'm writing something x dot foo, and when I write ob dot foo, so what does this indicate? This is
Static.
okay, that's static and all, but it is accessed in context of an object or a class. Getting na? So this is accessed in context of class. Here it is accessed in context of object. But whenever a dot come in before that, what is coming? A object or a class? So same way here, tell me, when you're using dot, so what is this considered as? What is that arcs considered as?
Object.
Object. Clear? It's an object. Getting? So we think as if it's an array, but actually Java converts every array also into an object. Okay? So it is an actual object and it is having a property length, and then that property in if you can compare whether it is exactly 3, yes, then do this whole logic. Otherwise, in else, you can put a error message. It's up to you. Or you can do it exception handling also using a try-catch block, which we will be learning in exception handling chapter. For time being, I have done it with this way. Okay, so here I'll say exactly 3 values expected. Clear? Right? So I hope you got it. So there are different ways how you can do it, but this approach is not that foolproof according to Java point of view. Java says whenever you want to handle errors, handle it using exception handling. Means use try-catch blocks and then do it. Okay. So when we'll come to that topic, you'll learn it. Okay. Now I'm compiling it, I'm running it. Now 3 values are there. Therefore no error, it gives output. But suppose one is less. Will it go directly to else part? Because what is the length of your array? The array length is 2 only. Only 2 values are there. And you are checking 3. Getting, guys? So it gives you an error. See, exactly 3 values expected. So if I give 4 also, it will give an error. Why? Because the length is how much? Now what is the length of that array? This array length is how much? 4, and you are doing checking for 3. Getting? So many things to be learned. Okay. Now what we are going to do is, in the next session, we will be learning the second way of accepting input. That will be through the keyboard. Okay. So now I told you how to accept input from the command line. Then next time I'll tell you how to accept input from the keyboard. And for that, what are different ways? So we will accept the input through scanner class, then using buffered readers. Many ways are there. Okay. So we'll try to accept the data by that all different ways I'll tell you. Right. So we'll be discussing that in the next section. Okay. So till here it is clear, I guess, all of you. Yes or no? Or maybe some doubt questions may be there, like some curiosity questions, but no problem. Timely they'll get solved. As you go on learning more and more, automatically it will get clear. Okay? ठीक है. So till here, I hope it is clear. Next time I'll tell you about the second technique of accepting input. That is through scanner object. Then I'll tell you through buffered reader object, how to do it. Okay, so that discussion will do. Right? So for today we'll stop, all of you.